Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Colorado Sports TV's coverage of the Women's Football Association game between the Mile High Blaze and a kind of a consolidated team between the Minnesota Machine and the
Colorado Freeze.
The Colorado Freeze. My name is Scott Sledgester. I will be one of your hosts tonight. Joining me on the mic tonight,
This is Kevin Palmer, Coach Palmer, and I'm happy to be here tonight, and look forward to this opportunity to witness some women's football. I've heard a lot about women's semi-pro football. This is my first experience, so I'm looking forward to it, Scott.
Oh, it was a great game last week. I was blown away by the competitiveness. The team from the Springs, they ran out of steam only because they didn't bring up their whole lineup. They weren't able to bring everyone up. It seems to be a reoccurring theme with visiting teams, not being able to bring everyone and field a full team.
Well, as I understand, that's the reason why we have a mixture between the Minnesota Machine and the Colorado Freeze. That, exactly as you said, teams have a difficult time getting all their players to be able to travel. So friends of friends decided to help friends of friends, and that's why we have a mixture of the Freeze and the Machine.
Absolutely. But this will be exciting. The Freeze are set to play the Blaze here in a few weeks. So I guess we'll get to see a preview of that with, I'm assuming, the Minnesota coaching staff.
Well, and as I understand it, the coaching staff from Minnesota wasn't able to make the trip either. So some of the coaches are actually from the Freeze. So this will be interesting to see how these two teams, the Freeze and Machine, are able to mesh together.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to football, and if you got the football vernacular, you call certain plays, most players know what those plays mean. So we'll see if they're able to execute and run some basic plays.
Sure.
I watched the game last week, and I noticed that the Blaze they have a ton of talent and they have a ton of speed, and it was just it was a demonstration. I think what they wanted to do was to show the Cats from the Springs that they got a team to reckon with in the Blaze. So
absolutely. Well, the Blaze, I would actually put them up against any given day, but I'm not going to name names, but there were a couple CFC teams last year that were walked over badly by some of the other teams, and I bet the girls could give those guys a run for their money.
Well, I'll pay attention to that because I've been in the CFC for 10 years, and I know quite a bit of the talent there. So based upon what I saw last week, they have a lot of speed, and I'll be ventured to say and agree with you that there's some teams that would have a difficult time with this Blaze team here.
We are about to get the kickoff underway here, and there we go. A little confusion as to who was going to take that kick, but she's moving up about 10, 15 yards there.
Yeah, the kicker, Libby Stone there, actually put a pretty good foot into it there.
Oh, yeah, she is definitely on par with most of the kickers in the CFC.
Starting off at the 35-yard line, and again, watching the game from last week, I noticed that the Blaze, they have a defense that is stout up front, and they have their nose tackle, Sean Brigham. She absolutely ran some people over last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to get off mic for just 1 second here.
First and 10, Minnesota, from the 35.
See if I can't handle some play-by-play duties here.
Sorry, I'm also training a new producer tonight, so I'm doing a bit of triple duty because I'm on camera as well. So have to bear with me, folks, here.
Well, we have a fumble right at the snap there, and recovery by the Machine.
It's going to be a loss of about 4, it looks like.
Looks like it'll be about 2nd and 14 coming up. Again, that's probably not going to be uncommon tonight, given the fact that we've got two teams that are merged together.
Oh, absolutely.
That'll probably be the kind of mistakes that we see as a result of not practicing together, and having a opportunity to work together too much. So we have another fumble, and this time there is a recovery, but again another about a 5-yard sack here. Again, a lot of pressure from up front there from that Blaze defensive line as well.
That looked like a mistargeted hike. Is that the result of a nervous center?
It could be. Again, number 50, Sean Brigham, I tell you what, I don't think I'd want to go head-to-head against her. She looks like she could probably do some damage.
Absolutely. That's definitely a wall there in the middle that you got to contend with if you're trying to use, any kind of running game.
I believe that the freeze, the machine. Well, here's another bad snap from the very get-go there. And I would have to say that there's probably some jitters. Again, a lack of cohesion based on not being able to practice together. So it's 4th down and long.
4th down.
Looks like they probably are going to go into punt formation here.
Yeah. Now, which color is which? We've got the blue, or black, white, and orange on the field, but then when you look on the other side, there's also blue pants too.
Well, so as I understand, the blue is the freeze, and the black pants are the machine. Wow, we got a nice looking run back there, all the way up to about the 22-yard line. The Blaze is going to have great field position to start their first drive. I was talking to Coach Lister to start the game, and their starting quarterback, number 17, Adrian Tausey, is going to start the game and have a series or two.
Really?
But it's quite possible because I did have an injury she sustained from last week. Probably not going to play the entire game, but they do want to get her some snaps.
And you said she was number 17?
She's number 17.
Yeah, she's taking the snap here now.
We have a pro set here. Hand off to the running back. And this is where last week I saw a tremendous amount of speed. And again, we've got a touchdown to start the game here for the Blaze. 22 yards, 21 yards on the first handoff. It's hard for me to make out who that is, but she cut right through the tackle guard spot there, and
number 00.
00. That's Tatiana Palms, and last week she really ran the ball effectively. Last week, and they probably had about 5 running backs last week that I saw, and as Coach Lister told me tonight, that it's going to be running back by committee, and well, that's quite a committee to start out with.
Absolutely. That's a nice way to start the game, is first possession, march down, and score.
The extra point here. It's up, and it's good. That makes it 7-0, 12:15 to go in the first quarter, and wow, that was a quick answer to a quick 4-and-out, and then a punt with a good return.
So far, what I noticed in the first possession for each team is the consolidated team, they're going to need to figure out a solution for the whole center quarterback exchange.
And Scott, it might have to be, even though they're getting a lot of pressure up front, they might have to go under center. That shotgun snap, I think, is causing them some troubles. But I also understand the philosophy of trying to get a shotgun snap there just to give the quarterback an opportunity to look downfield as the rush comes up towards her. But the first thing you always have to accomplish when you start a play is to get a good snap.
Yeah, if you can't get the ball in the quarterback's hands, the play's not really going to go anywhere anyway. Well, less than 3 minutes into this first period, and the Blaze are already up 7-0. As they're kicking off here.
Oh, we have a fumble there, a muff.
A little communication snafu as to who was going to take the kick. That's the second time. So, yeah, we really are seeing now at what you were talking about with issues with lack of practice and just not knowing each other yet. Hopefully that will start to gel as the game continues.
Well, let's see if there's any adjustments made to their quarterback and center alignment there. Again, with Sean Brigham standing right over the center, she's pretty imposing there. And again, last week just devastated the Cats from last week. So I can certainly understand why there'd be some concern about getting that quarterback back there in shotgun. There's a better snap. Got to throw downfield, but incomplete. That was a much better snap. I'm wondering if they kind of worked on that on the sidelines. I'm not sure. I didn't have a chance to view over there, but
yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that either. But hopefully they did, and hopefully it's not a case where. Well, I'm not sure if this would be what you were rooting for or not, but I'm wondering if it's center from one team, quarterback from another, and they just don't know each other. I guess that would be a better option than they are from the same team and they're still having communication problems.
A positive play for the machine right now would be good. So we do have a stretch play to the outside of pitch, and a nice adjustment by the cornerback there who came over and dropped that running back for about a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, she got hammered as soon as she was trying to turn the corner there.
Number 80, Megan Andres, is ball carrier for the Minnesota Machine. Tackle on the play for the Blaze, number 9, Coco Hockaday.
Yeah, the machine, they definitely need to have a positive play right here. Just I don't think you want to go too quick 4-and-outs and give the Blaze an opportunity to get up 14-0 with only 5 minutes have played left in the first quarter.
Absolutely. And from what I understand, there's no mercy rules in this league.
I did talk to Coach Lister, and he did give me an explanation of some of the mercy rules. So it looks like we definitely have our first flag.
Hopefully we won't need them.
It's looking like maybe we have offsides on the Blaze to start out with.
Well, the machine will take it. Whatever gets the ball down the field. And if anyone's joining us from Minnesota, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the coverage.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we've got another flag here. I'm going to suspect that that's in the place of holding right there, which, if that's the case, the Blaze would decline that penalty.
Well, that was number 50 for the Blaze, the nose tackle. I'm not sure. I don't have a roster in front of me. I'm not sure. But she slid over to her right and created an impassable wall that, as you saw, the running back just bounced off of.
Yeah, and as she's coming out, that's Sean Brigham. Excuse me. Sorry, Sean. Looks like that penalty was declined, making it 4th down. Two players for the Blaze deep. And this snap on the punt is muffed. But she does get the kick off. Not too bad, actually. But now now we're on the race here.
And
looks like that's number 12 there. Tony Triplett.
Let me see if I can get in a little tighter and find out. I think you're right.
She just turned that corner right there, Scott, and there was nobody there. Now, I think what we're seeing right now is just the athleticism of the Blaze and probably the difference in terms of the athleticism.
See, this is my second game watching the Blaze, and in both of these, I've just gotten the feeling that these women have been told for years they can't play. And they've taken all of that frustration and aggravation of being told that and have used it amazingly, and they've proven that, yeah, they can.
Well, and like you said, to start this game, there's some CFC teams that might want to scrimmage the Blaze here just to see.
No, I mean, the Greyhawks would know.
Well, we've got a muff snap here. Let's see if we can. Last week they had a muff snap, and they were able to recover and run it in for a 2-point conversion, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen right here. Oh, my goodness, that would be number 8, Libby Stone.
And she went through a lot of Minnesota players to do it.
Yeah, again, I think this is what we're looking at here, just a difference in talent level right here. So that's going to give us a score of 15-0 with only less than 5 minutes gone in the first quarter.
10 minutes, 3 seconds left on the clock here in the first period. I'm a little flabbergasted. I thought it would be, the Blaze would come out and play really hard and try to dominate, but I didn't expect this.
Well, and again, I think in talking to Coach Lister, he told me he wants to send a message to the rest of the league that he plays in that.
Well, this is sending a message.
Absolutely. And again, it could be sending a message to the Freeze, who they play, like you said, in a couple weeks. And he did give me some clarification on what the mercy rule is, and that is after the first quarter, if one team is up by 28 points, the other team can request a running clock or a mercy rule clock, in which case the clock continues to run.
Oh, and she touched that.
So that's number 11, Graham from she'd be from the Freeze, and she actually had a pretty decent run back there after she muffed the initial recovery.
And it was number 12 who brought her down.
She did take kind of a pop there, and I think she took exception to it. But, again, this is football, and I believe the Blaze are out there to show that they can be just as physical as every other football team.
They very much can. And although last week one of the results was that by the second, third, and fourth quarter, whenever we saw pops like that, it usually resulted in an injury timeout for a few seconds while the woman took her time to get up. I don't think they're quite used to that level of getting hit, but it's the Blaze are definitely here to play smash mouth football.
Well, it looks like the
I can think
the
of
machine have gone out to spread formation now. Let's see what happens here.
It's incomplete. She was targeting number 87 for the Minnesota machine.
Yeah, we don't have an 80. Well, yeah, I take that back. We have Callie Miranda from the Freeze. So we'll see how that matchup is in a couple of weeks there. But there was definitely some pressure up front. Not a whole lot of time for the quarterback, Olivia Graham, to get that off. Boy, this drive is crucial that they have a couple of positive plays.
This is a really nice stadium.
This is one of the best high school stadiums in the state.
It'd have to be.
It compares up there. It looks like we have offsides again by the Blaze.
I've been to some college stadiums that weren't this nice. And folks in the background here, while they're sorting that out, I'll just go ahead and show you. Beyond those houses and beyond the windmills, well, actually around the windmills, that's Kansas. So we are way in the East Metro tonight.
Southeast Aurora.
Yeah. Outside the 470 loop, which is mind-boggling to me.
Quite a hike for a lot of people, but this area has grown quite a bit in the metro area. Again, a nice snap, but
she's still on her feet.
Penetration again by the Blaze.
She was able to shake off the first hit, but the second and third one brought her down. It ends up being about a loss of 1.
It looks like it's going to be about third and about 8th there, Scott.
No, loss of 2.
Again, the machine's going to have to come up with something positive here. They don't want to go down with another quick 4 and out.
No,
Give the Blaze an opportunity to just kind of start to put this out of reach really quick.
I'd like us to not have to invoke the running clock in the second quarter. That would.
It looks like a blitz coming here. Oh, there's a stun up front by the. There was a stun up front. Wow, that's again they're employing some defensive stunts up front on that defensive line that even some CFC teams don't necessarily employ all the time. But that's impressive that they're working some stunts up front on that defensive line, and it certainly helped pressure that quarterback.
Yeah, I can. I'm not going to name names here because I don't want to get the hate mail. But I can think of at least 2, maybe 3 teams in the CFC I would love to see the Blaze scrimmage against. And
here's a good snap right here and a good good punt, and it's
that's
muffed.
That's a live ball.
It's Tony Triplett, but it looks like she's got some running room again. She's going to score again down to the 30, the 20, the 10. That's going to be a touchdown. Wow. Now that was quite the run again. I think, like I said, we're just seeing an obvious difference between skill level between the Blaze and the Machine.
Yeah, we saw the kicker making a last dash, but she realized she wasn't going to catch her in time. So there's another 6 on the board right now that brings us up to 22. I'm sorry, 21.
That's all right. I didn't.
I'm getting ahead of myself with the extra point kick.
My math skills aren't the best either, Scott. So
I was a product of public education.
That was a good snap right there.
And there's that kick I was banking on. So now we're up to 22-0 here. 8 minutes, 5 seconds to go. And we just had some weird audio thing happen there. I think that corrected it. Sorry about that.
Well, so again, just Coach Lisser had indicated that after 28 points, if one team is up greater than 22, then the opposing team can request a mercy rule clock. He also told me that within this league, the Women's Football Alliance, that if a team is up by 50, they have to pull their starting running back and their starting quarterback.
Oh.
So at this point, it would not surprise me if we have to see both of those happen here really soon, but it has to be after the first quarter before we can get to that 28-point mercy rule. Oh, nice kick.
Once again, she touches it as it goes by. That's a live ball.
Again, that's number 11. She downs it there at the 5-yard line. This is not a good scenario. So that was Graham with the Machine. And again, I'm not sure why she would just down the ball. She had an opportunity to pick that ball up and run a little bit. Maybe at least get it out to the 10, 15-yard line.
Right.
I'm kind of wondering if intimidation is kind of starting to set in already.
Well, that wouldn't entirely be unreasonable. Because, let's be honest, the Blaze team is intimidating. They're playing like football players. And they're not pulling their hits, and
well, they're definitely out to show that women's football is real.
In many ways, it looks like the butt kicking I once witnessed when the varsity team got mad at the JV team.
This is just this is unfortunate for the Machine right now,
especially when you travel. It's one thing to have a hard-fought game on the road. It's another to not have the hard-fought part.
No gain on the play, second down.
You see kind of pressure the Blaze are able to put on the quarterback here. I'm sure that a safety would look good for him. Oh, yeah, there was an incompletion there, but that would have at least put a positive play into their playbook there if they would have completed that pass and maybe just gained a few yards.
Sure.
Here comes number 50, Sean Brigham again. Don't be surprised if we see a big push up front, trying to get that safety.
Well, even if she just stays at the line of scrimmage and slides laterally, she's already proven tonight to be impassable. If she closes a hole, it's closed. It's not.
This was setting up for just a quick draw play, and that's what it is. But wow, did she take a lick there, the running back for the Machine. And the Blaze, they're certainly putting some hits on the Machine. They're not holding back. So that looks like Tony Triplett again back there to receive the punt. I kind of like to see the Blaze execute some offense here. But again, it looks like we're going to have a fairly decent run back, and right down the sidelines, and it looks like we've got another touchdown for the Blaze.
Oh, they had two players that weren't quite able to get into position to knock her out of bounds, so she's able to slip past and put another 6 on the board here. 28-0 here with 6:11 left in the first period.
Couldn't quite see who that was, but I think it's Kimberly Sanderson. Sorry about that pronunciation there. Looks like there's an injured player for the Machine, number 10, Olivia Graham. Looks like she's able to make it off the field okay. And here's another extra point try. The kick is up and good. So, Scott, we've got a 29-0 ball game. 6 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
In the first quarter. That's even the Greyhawks haven't done that. It's going to be fun next week. We're double booked. The only time in the spring we're supposed to be with the Blaze again next week down at Shea Stadium, as well as with the Greyhawks up at North Stadium or First Bank. I'm not sure what they're calling it.
It's First Bank now. Adams 12 finally decided to give it a name, First Bank Stadium. And again, I would rank First Bank Stadium right here with Legacy Stadium, two of the best high school stadiums in the state of Colorado.
Absolutely. It's got two things. Well, they each have an advantage. Legacy has got this gorgeous, huge room, tons and tons of space for us. And First Bank has an unbelievably fast internet.
And doing broadcast TV, I'm sure that's very important.
Oh, if we're going to have issues with the broadcast, 99% of them are going to be related to how much and how the quality of our internet connection.
Well, again, we had another muffed kickoff there by number 11 there. I think that's Jessica Poole. I'm only speculating because she's wearing blue pants, and that's the roster number we have for her. But she did bobble that kickoff, and at least she was able to gain about 5 yards. She didn't just take a knee. So
no, she brought it up, and I thought she was going to get a few more yards, but they closed the gap on her, and that was all she wrote. I like how the Blaze got a youth group out to be their cheerleaders. Give you folks a quick pan over here, and These girls are having a lot of fun. It's hard to tell from this angle, but that bottom tier of seating is completely full. There's a lot of folks here.
Listening to last week's broadcast, it sounded like there was a lot of people there. And from what I understand, nobody left.
No.
The score was 63-0, and nobody had left.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising how many folks stayed.
So here's a pitch to the right. Again, nice pursuit by the Blaze. But that's a positive yardage play right there for the Machine. They picked up 2 on that, or maybe 1, but at least it was positive. It was something other than a loss.
We're also working together a little better.
It is nice to see some cheerleaders out there for these ladies. There's a few CFC teams that in the past have had cheerleaders and
with mixed results.
With mixed results, and I have seen some of them have been quite good, and I know that the guys that are playing really appreciate the fact that there are cheerleaders out there, and I'm sure that these ladies appreciate that fact too. And here's a good fake by number 10 of the Machine. Olivia Graham, and she actually picked up some decent yardage there, about 4 yards.
Yeah.
Again, another positive play. And I think at this point, this is what you have to look for if you're with the Machine.
Absolutely. Just little signs that they're starting to mesh together, and just march it down the field one yard at a time if you need to. Although something just occurred to me, I wonder how altitude is affecting them.
That's a good point. That's something that hadn't really contemplated either. And it looks like the lion's share of the offensive line for the Machine is actually from Minnesota. There might be the tight end over there, might be just one from the Freeze there, but up front there is where the majority of the heavy lifting is. And it looks like we have a pass attempt that's incomplete.
But her line did a good job of giving her time.
She was protected that time.
Well, originally I'm from Illinois, and when I got here, it was after a 2-year stint in Albuquerque. But a lot of folks don't realize Albuquerque is actually another 500 feet up. It's higher up than Denver.
So they're at about 6,000 then.
Just over, yeah. And I had altitude sickness for close to 6 weeks. Just severe altitude sickness. Now, when I came here, it wasn't as bad because I was used to it after 2 years in Albuquerque. But I'm just wondering. I mean, it was immediate too. It just I got off the plane and I felt it. So I'm wondering how much of a variable it is for these women from Minnesota, which is pretty much at sea level.
Looks like we have a timeout on the field.
Four minutes, 6 seconds left on the clock here in the first period, or quarter, excuse me. I'm still somewhat in hockey mindset. 29-0 here for the Blaze. And I didn't see who called the timeout. They don't have any the timeout indicators in place on the scoreboard here tonight.
Well, one of the things that I see, Scott, I see quite a few CFC players here.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a connection.
Some
of these are the wives and girlfriends.
It's quite possible. I see the chain crew over there. Quite a few guys from the Panthers, the team that I coached for last year. So a few guys that I love those guys, by the way, Scott. Great guys. It was a good punt right there. This is what the Machine needs. And if they can get a tackle here, there we go. So that's good. Now we get an opportunity to see what the Blaze offense can do.
Absolutely. They held her for about 5-yard gain on that return.
Number 27 for the Blaze, Team Sanity.
So it's going to put the ball at about the 38-yard line.
First and 10 Blaze from the 38.
See who's coming in at quarterback here. So that would be, looks like number 1 there, Tatiana Palms. I'm sorry, Ty Lowry is coming in at quarterback. As I understood, their starting quarterback, number 17, Adrian Tausis, was only going to play the first series, but she only had one series to play.
Yeah.
The rest of them were runbacks on punts.
Well, she was injured last week, so it's nice to see that she was able to get some playing time.
So we've lined up in a pro set here. Two wide receivers on either side of her, and she's coming back to pass here. Nice protection and a nice ball. Oh, that was just dropped. A completion that was dropped that should have been completed. We should have had another touchdown there.
Pass to the ball complete. Number 7, C.J. Weasley. Brings up second down.
That was a really nice pass, Scott.
My wife is asking me where everyone is. She got home to an empty house.
Well, you indicated to her that you're here, right? So.
Well, it was me, she knew, but the 2 teenagers.
I see. Okay. Well, I've got some teenagers at home too, and
I've got one of them with me, and
yeah, I see a couple CFC players there giving us a wave here, Scott.
So, how do you think the Blaze would do against your Panthers?
Well, I tell you what. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of speed, as you can see right there.
Ooh, caught from behind, though.
The one thing that I feel is a distinct difference would be probably adjusting to the speed of the Blaze.
Yeah.
Now, in the CFC, that they're with the Panthers, we did have a lot of speed. I would say that. The speed would match the speed, and then the physicalness from just men. And I don't mean to disrespect women.
No.
But I believe that the women, it would eventually take its toll.
Yeah, very much so. I completely agree, because these women are incredibly tough, but they would have a very difficult time going up against someone on the other side of the line that's got 70 pounds on them.
And there's a nice handoff there. There's a 3-yard run.
And not just 70 pounds, but 70 pounds in 15 years of playing football.
Exactly. And I think that would be another big distinct difference, is just the amount of time that a lot of the players in the CFC have played. A lot of these teams in the CFC, you think about the Greyhawks, they have played together for numerous years.
Well, my assumption is with your average CFC player, he's been playing football for close to or over 20 years. He probably got started when he was 5 or 6. On some level, Pee Wee or Pop Warner, and then worked his way up. And that is really the only advantage that a lot of these women are going to have, is that they don't have those opportunities for the Pop Warner style of football at a young age. Yet. I'm sure that's going to come.
Well, and here we go. Here's another long run by the Blaze. Again, just a straight draw, straight up the middle there. And again, I think this is a difference in talent level.
On the carry for the Blaze, number 10, Brandy Ernie.
We have a couple guests from the CFC here up in the press box here.
A couple of your former players?
A couple of former players. A couple of good friends, Mr. Booby Jones. Booby, I know you're playing with the Eagles this year.
We got a good team this year, man.
And my good friend Vic, I understand that you're retired. Is that correct? Yeah, he's not going to make a commitment here. There's another draw play, and I believe here we go. Oh, touchdown.
They tried to bring the tackle on, but it just
almost had her stop short there. I mean, this is where the physical difference between these two teams is evident.
Well, that came up last week, too, is the Blaze, not only the physical difference, but simply the numbers on the sidelines, the rotation options, just wore down the Thundercats. They weren't having to stay on the field nearly as long as the Cats were.
Well, and it looks to me like the Blaze, they have at least 40 players out there. and the freeze / machine, you know, they're lucky if they can field, you know, a complete offense and defense. It looks like they've got some players that can go both ways.
Yeah, I think their kicker might be a defensive back too. It's not getting out to the audience. It's just, unfortunately, I think I got to shorten this cable. It's feeding our headset. So sorry about that.
Maybe we could get
the audience is not sure what are they talking about. For those of you wondering, our left ear is cutting out completely when we talk. We can hear each other speak and ourselves, but looks like I need to replace a cable. I'm getting a weird short in one of them. It's cutting out our left ear, so it's a little disorienting. So sorry if you're watching and you're wondering what the hell are those two talking about, but because it's not getting to the output feed. So
let's see what happens with this kickoff here, Scott. Again, number 8 here, Libby Stone. Kickoff to about the 23. And a decent return, about a 12-yard return there, out to the 40.
On the reception to the machine, number 80, Megan Andre.
yeah.
Tackle on the play for the Blaze, number 13, Sasha.
They're going to set that one up on the 37-yard line. For Blaze.
First and 10 machine from near the 37.
Let's see what kind of defensive alignment here the Blaze put together. I talked to Coach Lister, and you know, I watched the game last week, and they had 10 players in the box, and as they do right now, they have 8 in the box, and it looks like they're doing nothing but just planning on putting a lot of pressure on that on the quarterback there. And there's a good completion. Looks like it is a fumble. Fumble recovered by the Blaze.
With 37 seconds left in the first quarter, I wonder if this isn't going to be the proverbial nail.
Well, it is a recovery by the Blaze. Well, they had an opportunity for a positive play right there, even though it was a completion, and maybe they would have only picked up 2 or 3 yards, but a completion by the quarterback to a wide receiver would have meant a whole lot to this team right here.
Absolutely. Well, next week the Blaze are set to host the Duke City Dukes, or the Santa Fe Dukes. So a women's team coming up from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And hey, we've got good news for the listeners. Someone much better than me just showed up. So we'll be starting off the second quarter with a competent announcer.
And here's another drop back pass and wide open out in the flats there.
Oh, just out of her reach.
The protection from that offensive line is really impressive as well.
Ty Lowry's pass going to fall incomplete to number 7, C.J. Weisman.
Yeah, that's not number 7. It's number 81, but they ran back together.
So that's 81 is Ashley Davis. She definitely had the cornerback beat on that play. And Ty Lowry, she definitely has an arm.
Yeah. And as we just saw, they're not going to pull their punches here. They really are sending a statement to the rest of the WFA.
So I'm not sure what we've got going on here, but we need somebody that has to have some medical attention, perhaps.
I'm not sure. We've got the general manager and one of the undressed players on their way. What's going on there? I'm not sure. But as soon as they get off the field to play, I think we're going to get back underway.
So it looks like we got 2nd down and 10. Lowry drops back. Nice quick flare, but incomplete. It looks like that was tipped at the line of scrimmage there. If that would have been completed, I think that seam was open. I think it would have went for another 6, Scott.
You could be right. She had a good angle at that and only one defender to get past.
It's 3rd down and 10. Again, Lowry drops back. And here's a quick completion right over the seam to the tight end. And that's about a 26-yard pickup, 16-yard pickup down to the 19-yard line. That was a good pass right there. Nice little tight end pop, and that probably going to take us to the quarter there.
Yeah, that should have been a running clock right there, isn't it? Since they brought it down in
I
bounds.
see the white hat actually asking for the timer to start the clock. I will tell you that I know that I was talking to the stadium manager here, and he said that they've had some troubles with the stadium clock here.
Yeah, they did last year as well.
It looks like
timeout.
Well, it looks like they're actually going to.
They're just going to call the quarter.
End the quarter there.
Okay, well, folks, we're going to take a quick break here, and we will be back for the start of the second quarter. Thanks for watching Colorado Sports TV's coverage of the Women's Football Alliance game between the Mile High Blaze and the Minnesota Machine.
And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Women's Football Alliance and the Mile High Blaze versus the Minnesota Machine. And after a well-executed drive and a great touchdown play from Ty Lowry to number 81, what was her name?
Ashley Davis.
Ashley Davis, a well-executed play. And there's our kick. And it's going to come down right around the 20. Bounces between a few players. Finally covered by a Machine player. You have to remind me, Machine's in blue pants?
The Steel are in blue pants, or excuse me,
Machine.
The Freeze.
Freeze are in blue pants.
In blue pants, and Machine are in black.
Gotcha. I'll get that right soon.
Looks like that was number 17, Bobby Kulik. I think she made a smart play there, Eric, by just taking a knee right there.
Yeah.
She didn't have any blockers available to her, and she did muff that. So
I mean, when you're down 43-0 at the beginning of the second quarter, possession is very important, and you don't want to make a mistake and maybe fumble a ball or give a turnover where you don't need it before things get completely out of hand. Now, the Machine have to take advantage of this opportunity given to their offense now. Do you have the name of the starting quarterback for the Machine?
Yeah, it's Olivia Graham.
Okay.
And she's been pressured all night long, Eric. She just really hasn't had an opportunity to get any kind of rhythm whatsoever. Her offensive line has not given her a whole lot of protection.
Well, I found this formation on defense very interesting by the Blaze. They have 3 down linemen front, but look how they stack their linebackers out there. And here comes the pressure up the middle. She throws it open, and it's caught. There's a bunch of Blaze around her, but she finally brings it down. There's a flag on the play, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was offsides. And looks like they're probably going to take the reception, I'm going to guess.
Oh, we got personal foul. Looks like maybe roughing the passer on the Blaze as well. But that was a good catch by Jessica Poole of the Freeze, and it was actually a good pass there as well.
Now, without
good protection,
without diving too deep into their rule book, last week it felt like they were working off of an NCAA rule book. So if that's the case and that completion was made, do you get the penalty added to the end of the reception of the play, or do you take either or?
Well, it's a 15-yard penalty, and I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not sure what rules they abide by, but it should be tacked on to the end of the play.
That would be the normal NCAA rule. Oh, we got 2 penalties.
Offside on the defense. That penalty will be declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 2 of the defense. 15 yards tacked on.
Yeah, it is tacked on to the end of the run there.
That's exactly what the Machine needed to start this drive out to try to get some points on the board. I mean, being down this big this early in the game, getting some points up can help change the motivation of the team a little bit, I would think, not Kevin?
You know, and again, that's what we talked about earlier, Eric, is that the machine, they need to have some positive things to happen for them. They are obviously shorthanded. I have several players playing both ways.
Okay, well, this looks like a pistol formation to me, Coach. The receivers left and right, 3 down linemen defense for the Blaze. There's a motion across the quarterback. There's a snap, pitch outside to the left. Here comes the pressure. Following her, blocks is the running back. Keep it on her feet, cutting back inside. Finally brought down. That's 2 first down plays in a row for the Minnesota Machine. I can't see the numbers from up here.
Can't quite make that out either there. But that was definitely a good run. She got to the outside, turned it upfield.
So that's going to take it to 1st and 10 right at around the 17-yard line of the Mile High Blaze. We just turned over to the 12-minute mark, and this in the second quarter with a score of 43-0. But it smells like the Minnesota Machine is doing whatever they can to put some points on the board and stop this goose egg from happening. So she sends tight end to the left, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, throws it left. There's coverage there.
Oh, that should have been intercepted right there.
Yeah,
looks like we're probably going to have pass interference, though, Eric.
You know what? The back judge did throw that. There was contact before the ball got there, but it looked to me like she was going for the football. I thought she had the right to do that, didn't she?
Yeah, and I believe that she missed an easy interception there. That's number 25 for the Blaze.
She did the right thing. You know, she dropped
Karen Hogan there.
Karen dropped an interception, and she did her push-ups for doing it, right?
I kind of concur with you a little bit. I'm not sure. I think she had established position on that pass, and if she would have intercepted it, I don't see how they could have called pass interference there, but they did.
Well, it looks like. Well, where's the ball now?
Ends up being a spot foul right there, Eric, and automatic first down.
Gotcha. All right, so the Machine goes into a shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, tight end to the left, single receiver. Here's some motion across the back, handed outside. The Blaze are all over it, eating her up in the backfield. Finally bring her down, loss of about 1 yard on the play.
And that was just way too slow
in development.
In developing there, and I think the Blaze sniffed that out.
I don't know if you've mentioned anything. I mentioned it a lot last week at the end of the broadcast, but this Mile High Blaze team, both offensively and defensively, just seem to know their roles, and they seem to know where they need to be. I mean, nobody over-pursues. Everybody stays in their lanes, and they cover their spots pretty well. I think that's just really good coaching.
Well, definitely. And talking to Coach Lister there, he said that they run a 3-5-3. And so that's the formation that you're looking at. And it does look a little confusing because they do have those linebackers so tight and close to the line of scrimmage. But as you said, everybody stays home, and nobody over pursues. And when the plays to be made, they're making the plays.
Same formation, rolls back. Here comes pressure, gets rid of it quick, and it's incomplete. The pressure, the quarterback felt the pressure on that play. She got rid of it, and that's going to take us to 3rd down and 11 with 10:39 left in the second quarter. We're still at a 43-0 contest.
And that was Chantel Hernandez coming off the end there. She was unblocked. And if they hadn't had a screen set up on that, she would have had most likely a quarterback sack there. But
what number, Chantel?
She's 44.
Yeah, I was impressed by her play last week as well. She's a difference maker on the line for the Mile High Blaze. And she's always seems to be around the football no matter where it's at. So she looks like she's lined up at left end right now. So here comes some movement on the line.
Well, it looks to me like we should have a false start here.
Well, yeah, but they were drawn off a little by the movement of the defense, and I don't know how the refs will call that. Let's see what he says.
Prior to the snap, false start, 69.
Yep, they drew him off sides, and now the Machine is going backwards. And on 3rd down, that's exactly what they did not need. So they've got a lot of ground to make up right now on 3rd down. And they're in good field position. I don't know if they traveled with a kicker, did they? Have you seen them try to kick yet?
We have not seen them kick yet. So we have seen them punt, and they do have a pretty decent punter. Olivia Graham, their quarterback, is actually their punter as well, and she has had some decent punts.
Well, I'm sure they don't want to go for 3. I'm sure they want to put 6, and that's why they're spreading them out, putting 2 receivers to the left, tight end on the right with a single receiver outside. Here comes the blitz. She's got to get rid of it fast, floats it up in there, and it's caught. She's still fighting for extra yards, but she's going to be short of the line to gain, and that's going to take it to 4th and about, what is that, 4 yards, Kevin? 4th and 4?
Yeah, that was a good catch by Callie Miranda there of the freeze.
Not a bad pass either, because she put that right in between 3 defenders, and it was a very well executed play there.
Well, and they've got to go for it here, Eric. There's no sense in
putting 3 only.
Trying a field goal here, other than maybe to.
Well, at this field position, I think the only reason you would is if you had a lot of confidence in your place kicker. And well, we're waiting to see what they're going to do here.
I think it would only be a moral victory to put 3 points up here if they could.
Well, the clock is still ticking at 9:44, and it doesn't seem like the refs are ready to start the play yet.
Well, now I talked to Coach Lister again, and I talked about this during the first quarter. There's the mercy rule here in the Women's Football Alliance is after the first quarter, if there's a team that's up by 28 points, the opposing team can request a running clock.
Oh.
If a team is up by 50 points, they have to pull their starting quarterback and running back.
Wow. That's an interesting mercy rule.
So those are different rules than what we would be used to in the CFC or high school level.
Sure.
Enforcement, penalty will be accepted. Remains 3rd down.
Yeah. I was kind of curious why they would have declined that, and it was a good clarification there by the referee. That play, although it was a completion, still would have resulted in 4th down. They accept this penalty, and now it gives them 3rd down to replay.
Yeah, but what line, though? Is it still 3rd and 9?
It looks like it's 3rd and 11, Eric.
3rd and 11, you're right. So that's a really interesting call, because you can either take 4th and 4 to the line of gain or 3rd and 11.
Well, but this still gives you an opportunity to have 2 plays. So if you got the 3rd down, and you're certainly going to go for it again on 4th down if you get whatever the result of the play is. Basically 2 plays to make a 1st down right here.
Sure, as opposed to 1 try, and then it's I get that. But I think that's probably why he went ahead and called that timeout, because if you're going to take that risk, you better make sure you've got the right play calls in there to be able to execute something that this team can put together and maybe continue this drive.
Well, and they have actually started to accomplish some things here on this drive, whereas the first couple series, and Scott can attest to this, they couldn't even get a good snap. And I think that simply comes down to the fact that these 2 teams, the Freeze and the Machine, have not played together and probably haven't even practiced together, aside from maybe just a workout yesterday if the Machine made it into town.
All right, well, it looks like we've got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, shotgun formation. Here comes the blitz. She bobbles the ball, spans back up, and gets brought down, dropped. That's a sack on the play. And that looks to me like it came from number 44. Am I right?
Yeah, that was number 44 there, Hernandez. But we got a penalty down for some reason, Eric.
Yeah, that was a good sack. It hopefully wouldn't be anything against that tackle. Hernandez showing up big again for the defense, just like she did last week. And it's playmakers like that that's going to make a difference for the Mile High Blaze on their road to the championship, because they are just looking so very, very good right now. So let's see what the White Hat has to say about this.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 44 of the defense. That's going to be half the distance for the 1st down.
Oh, that's a big play right there.
Yeah, she made a great play on there, but what she did after the play ended up costing her team yardage and gave the Machine a 1st and goal opportunity. Am I right?
Well, it looks to me like she was pretty happy about that sack right there, pretty excited, and rather than doing a sack dance, maybe she said something or got her into trouble.
The refs made her pay a price for enjoying that sack. So here we go. 2 receivers to the right, tight end on the left. They're asking for the clock to wind.
We should have a false start here, Eric. I believe that right guard moved before the defense, but
False start. Number 17, the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Boy, you got to be careful there, When the defense gives you a first down just like that, the last thing you want to do is make a mistake and make your team go backwards.
well, and again, Eric, I believe that that's just symptomatic of the fact that these teams have not played together.
Kevin, I hear you, but let me ask you this question, Coach. If you're on the line, don't you know the snap count and don't you see the ball?
Well, you'd like to think so,
There
but we
we
have
go.
another false start
There we
again,
go.
Eric. That time it's number 69 there.
But you know what? I get it. Sometimes you're on that line. You know the snap count. You can see where the ball's at, but the anticipation of the play about to start can sometimes draw people off. Do you agree?
Well, and I would tell you right now, if I was lined up against Sean Brigham there, I would probably be pretty intimidated as well.
Same thing with Hernandez. I mean, they've just been doing good. So it looks like after 2 backward plays in a row, the Minnesota Machine have called a timeout, and since they're going to take a break, we'll also take a break. And thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. It's 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half, and the score is still 43-0. The Minnesota Machine have been moving the ball down the field, but after a series of penalties by both teams, we're looking at first and goal for the Machine. She fades back, throws it over the top corner, cannot connect to the receiver. That's going to be an incomplete pass, and that's going to take us a second and goal still. I said the 20, but it looks like it's at the 19, doesn't it, Kevin?
It looks like it's first and goal from the 19 there. Brigham threw off of her back foot right there. Graham threw off of her back foot there, but she definitely had some pressure up the middle by Brigham, number 50, and she's just not having the opportunity to get her feet set and make crisp throws.
You know what? I see what you're talking about, how the first quarter went, because that pressure's coming in from the outside and from the inside, and it seems like the Mile High Blaze can put pressure on her any way they want to right now. So let's see what they could do against them this try here, as she sends 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like tight ends on the left side. Same defensive formation, crowded out that line for the Mile High Blaze.
Like a blitz is coming.
So here's the snap. She's actually got some time. Lets the ball go, and that looked like a miscommunication. The receiver went outside. She looked like she was throwing a curl on that one. So that's going to take us a 3rd and goal at the 19.
She's pretty lucky that wasn't intercepted. And if that would have been intercepted, that probably would have been 6 right there.
There was nobody in front of her. She could have got her hands on that. You're absolutely right about that. But that's what I mean when I was talking about they just seem to be well coached, because everybody's in the spot that they need to be on every play on defense, it seems like. And same thing on offense. The Mile High Blaze are just are tuned up, and they're ready to go, and they're looking very, very good right now with a score of 43-0 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So she breaks the huddle, sends 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Looks like there's a tight end on the left side. Takes a snap. She's got time. Throws across the middle. Incomplete. It's going to take us to 4th and 19. I don't even know where she was trying to throw that ball right there.
Well, again, she was looking for something over the middle there. It certainly wasn't there. She had a wide receiver to the outside that was running basically a corner route, but she didn't even look in that direction. We do have an injury down there. See if we can't make out who that is, Eric.
Or maybe what color those pants are.
She's got black pants on, so that would mean that she's from the machine.
What a shame to have to travel all the way out of from Minnesota. But doesn't look like she's too bad. Oh, no, they're taking her helmet off.
Taking her helmet off. It's number 79. That's Krista Clausen. She's a captain, so that could be a big loss. And, you know, she plays both offense and defensive line, so we'll see how they're able to replace her.
Well, she's walking off on her own power, so I think that's a good sign. And there is a chance that she might be back. Looks like she's putting weight on both legs pretty well, so might not be that bad of an injury.
Well, let's hope she's able to come back out.
Let's hope for the best for her. And I'm sure that linemen are probably a commodity right now for the Myline machine. So using a captain and a line person has got to be tough on them. So are we still at third down here? No, we should be at fourth down, aren't we, Kevin?
Well, it's seeing fourth down, fourth and goal.
Oh, there's motion across the line.
That's
they threw the flag, so that's going to be a defensive penalty.
Yeah, that play should have been blown dead right there.
Well, and the fact that they didn't blow it dead makes me think that it's probably going to be an offsides call. But they made contact before the snap, so.
Yeah, I think she was.
Yeah, so I think another mistake by the Blaze is keeping the drive alive here for the Minnesota machine. Let's see what the White Hat has to say.
Offsides on the defense, number 25, 5 yards from the previous spot.
So they gained 5 yards, still fourth down, but puts them a little bit closer to the end zone. So it's fourth and goal. Looks to be right at the 14-yard line. So we're going to go shotgun formation. Look at all that protection on the line she has there, because there's only 3 receivers on the field, and there's a.
We're going to have another offsides against the Blaze.
Waiting for the call from the White Hat. Here we go. Yep. Same thing's going on with the Blaze. Every time they're about to put the nail in the coffin, per se, they make mistakes and keep the drive alive. And now we're looking at fourth and goal at the 9-yard line. So we're going to stick with the same formation. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Bobbles the snap. It's on the ground, but there's flags all over the field again.
I think this time we have false start on the offense. And this is kind of what happens when games get out of control here.
I looked at the far line judge. He's calling offsides against the Blaze again. So
they're like sharks in the water here, smelling some blood, and I think that's kind of what.
Well, those girls they've got to hold their water. I mean, they can't be jumping across the line before the ball is snapped. And you know, when I said something about the offensive line, they know the snap count. They can see the ball. That's exactly what a defensive lineman's job, isn't it? They have to watch that ball and not move until it goes. So they've got to do a better job, because that's going to be 3 offside penalties in a row against the Mile High Blaze, if that's what it is. Let's wait and see what he's got to say here.
Our White Hat is Chris Hopkins.
So after 3 penalties in a row against the Mile High Blaze, we are looking at fourth and goal at the 4-yard line. And it started like the 19-yard line, fourth and goal. So we're going to go with this pistol formation. They're just going to try and run it, hand it up the middle, pushing through, trying to get through. There's a flag. It looks like she got into me, but they're stopping her right at the 1.
I think we have some holding going on there, so that's definitely a setback for the machine.
Here comes the White Hat.
Personal foul.
Oh.
Number 50 of the defense.
Again, the Blaze.
Wow, so that's going to take it half to the distance. You know what? And it looked like she was able to punch that in regardless of the face mask. So to get them closer, now they're at the half-yard line?
She was.
Well, after a series of mistakes after the Blaze, the coach said that's enough, and he calls a timeout. So I'll tell you what, as they take a break, we'll take a break. And again, thank you so much for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Women's Football Alliance with the Minnesota Machine. It's hard to say driving. Penalties have helped them get to the 1 yard line against the Mile High Blaze. They're trying to put their first points on the board as we're looking at 3 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first half, a score of 43-0. And looks like we're going to go with that pistol formation. Receivers left and right. I'm sure they're just going to try to run it. Here comes the motion. There's the snap. Fake pitch outside. The Blaze are all over it. Bring it down.
And Shantavia Brigham, she snuffed that out from the get-go there. And again, another slow developing play. They had the fake jet sweep there, but they didn't run that. And they faked the pitch. So I think there was a little bit too much in that play design there to try to fake the defense out. But Shantavia Brigham, she didn't fall for any of that.
Well, I don't know if you see what I see, Kevin, but
it was like another flag.
Yeah, I think he just said that there. I think he just said there was no foul. Well, no, they did move it backwards.
Well, I think that's from the loss of his second down, Eric.
Oh, that's right, because they got the automatic first down for the face mask, so it's not 4th and goal anymore. It's 2nd and goal from the 5, and we're going to go in a pistol formation as the quarterback tries to set her offense up, takes the snap, handoff to the fullback, and the Blaze are right there to meet her and greet her and bring her down. She muscled her way up back to the line of scrimmage when she was hit in the backfield.
So I don't quite understand this play series right here. We had 1st and goal at about the 6 yard line. It could have easily come up under center there. The quarterback, number 10, Olivia Graham, could have easily just ran a quick quarterback sneak. No, nothing unlike what Tom Brady does just to gain 6 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. And, you know, as far as I've seen, they've been in some sort of shotgun formation. Have they been under center at all this game?
They have not been under center the entire game, and I think that's been a detriment to them because they, the Blaze obviously can just pin their ears back and rush at will right now.
Yeah, she's staying in a shotgun formation. Snap is over her head. She's trying to fall in, and the Blaze falls in instead. It's still on the ground. There's a pile. I can't see who's got it. Does the white hat see it? The Blaze think
Looks
they
like
have
the Blaze have it.
The Blaze take a turnover. So after a series of costly mistakes by the Blaze defense stands up big with a bad snap and recover the fumble, and they're going to take over 1st and 10. You don't see yet. All right, so let's see what Ty can bring to the table here. All right, so Minnesota Machine defense needs to step up here pretty big. We're inside 2 minutes, and the clock's still ticking. We're at 1:25 and counting with a score of 43-0, Blaze over the Machine.
Well, we are in that mercy clock. Mercy rule situation right now, and it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
It should be as well.
I mean, kudos to the Machine for traveling out here, in the fashion they did, and continue to compete this whole time. So waiting for the snap is Ty. I'm hoping that she just hands it off to kill the clock. Instead, she's going to roll out to her right, trying to find somebody to get open, directing traffic, throws it, tries the one-hand catch and can't pull it down. And they're not going to stop the clock anyway because now we're at 4 seconds. and ticking.
That play, it reminded me a lot of Justice Jones last year with the Panthers, who happens to join us up here in the box. Yeah, we might be able to harass here in a little bit.
Things are good. Just for those who don't know, they're calling that halftime right now. So I guess the clock on the board and the clock on the field were different, so they're going to go and take that to halftime. So we'll go ahead and take the break for halftime as well. And thank you again for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. We're about finished with halftime, and the score is 43-0 Blaze over the Minnesota Machine. And you know what? I ended up talking to during the halftime to some of the Freeze players that weren't able to suit up for this game, and they're all itching to get out there on the field after seeing what's going on.
Well, and again, this is a statement game for the Blaze when they play the Freeze. So you could see a bad blood matchup coming up when those teams get together in a couple of weeks.
Well, actually, that's not true. The Freeze are in a different league altogether. They had a scrimmage earlier this year, and you're right about that bad blood, and that's why the Freeze were eager to help the Machine out as much as they could because of what happened in that scrimmage.
I see, okay.
But in next year, what I was told was that the Freeze has every intention of joining the WFA. They'll be in the same division as the Blaze. So this is a rivalry, beginning stages of a rivalry with the Blaze versus the Freeze, as the Freeze came out to help the Machine, who didn't travel well. So kudos to them for working as hard as they have to try to help. But it looks like the Mile High Blaze will take possession, lining the ball up right at the 30. There's a slight wind coming east to west, but I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. It's not a very strong wind. All right, so we're waiting for the kickoff, and here it comes. And it's a short kick, bounces right around the 30, picked up right about the 25. She's got blockers ahead of her. She's cutting to the inside, cutting left, waiting for cutting far left outside. Cuts back out, waiting for her blockers. She's running up the field to the 40, to the 45, cuts across the 50. She's got one person to beat, to the 30, to the 20. 15, tries to make a stop and still fighting, and got in. Wow.
That's Tony Triplett, and she ran a few punts back in the first quarter before you were able to get here, Eric, but she did exactly what she did on those punt returns.
She is a well-visioned runner. When she followed her blocks to the left, and when she saw that was closed up, she used her speed and agility to move outside, and that speed just paid off in full for her, and she was able to put another 7 points on the board for the Mile High Blaze. Excellent. So the touchdown counts. That's going to take us to, 49 it should be, right? They haven't set the scoreboard yet.
Pending the extra point here.
Yeah, should be 49.
That Tony Triplett, she had 3 touchdown returns for punt returns in the first quarter alone. We didn't even have an opportunity to see the Blaze offense except for one series.
Wait, are you telling me?
And it was already 29-0.
She scored 3 touchdowns?
Three touchdowns on punt returns.
Wow, what
So
a
you can
game.
see that she's, again, the one thing I noticed last week against the Thundercats is that the Blaze have a ton of speed.
Yeah, they sure do. That extra point is good, and that'll take us to 50-0 with 13 minutes, 38 seconds, and ticking. Blaze over the Machine. And I'll tell you what, as they take a break, switch sides, we'll take a break, switch sides. And thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. After this kickoff, I'll introduce a special guest that we have. And there's the kick, bouncing right around the 20, finally picked up and bobbled, taken to the 15. And here comes a wall of blue jerseys to stop her. She cuts back inside with a nice spin move to gain a few yards. And we're going to have 1st and 10 right at around the 22-yard line. So gracing us with his presence today is the owner of the Colorado Panthers of the Colorado Football Conference, Sebastian Chun. Thanks for sitting in with us, Sebastian.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is your first opportunity to see this girls team, am I right?
Oh, that is correct. It's definitely interesting. I'll tell you, this team is very, very competitive. I mean, they're doing a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to call the game last week, and like I was telling Kevin earlier, they just seem to be executing on every side, every phase of the game. Obviously, special teams have scored big from today. Defense has had a bunch of turnovers, and the offense is scoring. So they're just continuing what they did last year. Just what I was telling Kevin, I think it's kudos to the coaching staff to get these girls in football shape and football readiness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Kevin was our head coach last year. He decided to retire this year, and I took over. And I got to tell you, being able to get players organized and in the shape they need to be, it's tough. So for this coaching staff to come out and year in, year out, and then game in and game out, be able to do what they're doing to get these guys as prime as they are and against the type of competition they're getting is very impressive. So definitely kudos to them.
Well, the Minnesota Machine trying to trade out the offense a little bit, and the snap is high over her head. Can she pick it up before the Blaze get there? She looks like she fell on it, paid the price for doing so, and that's a big loss. And there again, like Kevin said earlier, that defensive line for the Blaze is constantly in the backfield.
Well, this is how we started out the first quarter. The snaps were low to start the game. Now they're over the quarterback's head. And again, I think there's some intimidation going on there by Shantavia Brigham, number 50. She's just imposing. And I'm really surprised that the Machine have not made some sort of adjustment and kept their quarterback in shotgun just to at least get some snaps, because now we're looking at a safety right here, Eric.
Is it rolling back? Who's going to fall on it? That could be a touchdown, Kevin.
That's
Looks like we have
That
a
is
touchdown,
exactly
Eric.
what that is.
Yep.
So they've scored in every phase of the game. They scored offensively, defensively, special teams. The Mile High Blaze are firing on all cylinders right now, and that's going to take us to 56-0 with 9 minutes 52 and ticking left in the third quarter.
Well, and I mentioned to you one of the other mercy rule scenarios here for the WFA is that after 50-point differential, they have to pull their starting quarterback and starting running back. And when you look at the Blaze, there's not really a difference between talent level between their starting quarterback and running back. So we're probably not going to see a whole lot of difference.
You know what? You're right about that, because their starting quarterback, Adrian Tawayese, is not playing tonight due to injury that she suffered last week. They already have their backup in there in Ty Lowry. So if they pull her, I don't know who they're going to have to play quarterback. Sebastian, you want to suit up?
I've seen Sebastian's arm. You know, it's good that he's coaching this year. Actually, Sebastian, you know what? I tell you what, I kid him, but he stood strong in that pocket in the face of a lot of pressure. I give him a lot of credit from playing quarterback last year.
That's because I can only run a 5.7 40, so I couldn't do much more than stand in the pocket.
Well, 5.7 40 is probably about 2 seconds better than what Kevin could do, so you're doing pretty well there in this box.
Come on, man. You're being a little too nice to him. 2 seconds? More like 10 seconds.
If you gave me a 10-yard head start, I think I could probably take him.
So after 2 bad snaps, we're looking at a 57-0 contest, and the Blaze are going to kick off to the Mile High machine again. You know what? While we're waiting on that, I think now would probably be a pretty good time. Yeah. To go ahead and talk to you a little bit about what your plans are for the Colorado Football Conference this season, Sebastian.
My plans?
Yeah.
It's to play and hopefully win. No, you know, we're looking at having a pretty good season. We've got some great new talent. We've brought in a lot of veterans as well as a lot of young blood. I'd say that this year is probably the most talented Panthers squad that we've had in the 3 years of being in existence. You know, I have some promising young running backs, quarterbacks. We have by far the best offensive line we've had. And, you know, this year I brought in, you know, Doc Holliday, who was the Eagles head coach last year, Gene Essman, who was the head coach of the Cobras for a long time. They're helping me with the coaching staff as well as some other great, really experienced veteran coaches. And I got to tell you, man, we practice week in and week out, and each week we're getting better. So we're looking forward, you know, to starting the season come May 6th here, actually at Legacy Stadium, because this is our home field.
Well, I'm definitely expecting quite a bit from the Panthers this season. You've definitely improved, and you're doing a great job, Sebastian.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go with a 2 receivers to the right. Looks like tight ends on the left side. Single receiver on the outside. Single back formation. There's a snap, quick throw outside, and it's caught. The Blaze are there immediately, but the gain is still going to be good. Gain of about, what, 5 yards on that play, Kevin?
Well, and, you know, that was a good recognition by the quarterback right there. She saw the one-on-one coverage there with number 87, who is Callie Miranda. She had, you know, a 5-yard cushion there, and she did get the ball out. Looks like maybe we have
we have a personal foul at the end of the play.
Roughing the passer again.
Yeah, so they're going to get even more yardage. So the Blaze are continuing their penalty flu, if you would, that they had at the end of the second quarter, and they're helping the machine move the ball down the field.
And I know this is what Coach Lister's going to want to clean up in practice coming up this coming week is these kind of mistakes. And basically, you know, roughing the passer, being a little aggressive like this, certainly it can happen. But when it happens too frequent and by one player, then you know, it's one thing to be aggressive, but to not be disciplined is another.
There's a snap, pitch outside, met immediately in the backfield and brought down. Loss of about 4 yards on that play. Just that's Mile High Blaze defense is tuned in, and they're just constantly in the backfield of the Minnesota machine.
You know, this is they're a very aggressive defense, and I mean, you see gang tackling. Every time somebody has the ball, there's 2 to 3 tacklers around, and I think that kind of stems from where that penalty comes from. They're trying to be as aggressive as possible. So, yeah, you might get a little upset, but at the same time, I'm happy as a coach if they're hitting like that, because you see too often where guys try to play patty cake or girls try to play patty cake out there instead of going full speed.
All right, so after that tackle in the backfield, looks like we're going to go 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And you know what? They've had that single man-on-man coverage on the outside all day. Let's see if she decides to take advantage of it. Waiting for the snap as the quarterback. She takes it. She's looking left, throws it left, just can't get it there and takes a hit as she throws, and there goes the flag again.
There's another roughing the passer right there, Eric.
You know, I understand the defensive player wants to get back there and make a play, but they've got to be able to have the vision to see that the ball's gone instead of taking her down like that, because that's going to be another penalty against the Mile High Blaze defense.
And in the first half, you know, they're lucky to have not given up 6 points when they had first or fourth and goal at the 20-yard line and then gave up a couple of first downs, one by penalty, and it was first and goal at the 6-inch line.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yep, another 15-yard variety. And, you know, as I've said before with the Blaze executing as far as they have, they need to clean up these penalty mistakes because it's just costing them yardage. So we're at 3 minutes, 38 seconds and ticking left in the third quarter, still 57-0. And we're going to 5 receiver set this time, 3 to the right, 2 to the left, and the Blaze have only got a single safety on top. So waiting for the snap as the quarterback. Here comes the pressure. She gets rid of it off her back foot, and it is thrown short. That pressure, she got knocked down again. And that pressure is just coming from, and it seems like every direction, outside, inside. The Mile Blaze defense is getting through there.
But again, the pressure coming up the middle is keeping her from being able to even step up in the pocket. If she had the awareness to be able to do so, she couldn't even step up into the pocket because it's just completely collapsing.
Well, I think that puts us to third down. Am I right? No, that was second down
second
because
down.
after the penalty. So we're looking at 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 2 minutes, 43 seconds and counting. So it looks like we're going same formation, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Yeah, not the same formation, I apologize. Waiting for the snap. We've still got single coverage here on the left side. Here it comes. She rolls out to her right. Here comes the pressure. She gets rid of it, and it's caught.
Oh, a nice completion right there, Eric.
But nice defensive play to stop her from getting that first down, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 1. That defensive back was right where she needed to be, Kevin, and she made the play to stop the drive from continuing.
That was number 74, Billie Jean Davidson. I believe she came out as a tight end there, Eric, and it was good recognition on the quarterback's part there, but you're right, good defensive play.
You know, as we were talking about the mercy rules, I look down right now. It's like number 1 is warming up at quarterback for the Mile High Blaze. I think
that's still Ty Lowry.
Oh, that's Ty. Well, I don't know if they're going to pull her then. She's still trying to stay warm down there.
Well, and again, she did not start the game, so officially she is their backup.
I guess they do have that out now, don't they? All right, so we've got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, waiting for the snap. She looks left, gets rid of it, bobbled, and then knocked down. Looked like the tight end had a play on it, but the defender was there to knock it out of her hands and take us to, well, this should be 3rd now, right? No, I think it's 4th.
I believe it's 4th down and 2, Eric. Again, another good recognition by the quarterback. She did have some pressure. She got rid of the ball in time, but a good defensive play by the cornerback for the Blaze. Just knocked that ball out of the tight end's hands.
All right, so, you and I were talking about that earlier, that they might learn to go under center on these short plays or these short gains, and let's see if they decide to do that.
It certainly limits their options. They don't have any running game whatsoever, and when you've got a defensive front that's as aggressive as the Blaze are, you'd like to have some sort of a running game, maybe to run, whether it's just a quick draw play up the middle and just have a positive play.
I see a flag on the field.
Down, got an offsides.
And an interception, and she's all alone. She's taking it to the 35, to the 30, out to the 20. Nobody's going to stop her, and that's going to be another Blaze touchdown, depending on what that flag is. Now, at first, I thought it was going to be false start.
But I think it's coming back, Eric. But that was Kara Jo Weissman for the Blaze, but I think it is offsides.
Yeah, that offside is going to negate that interception.
If it were a false start, it would have killed the play right away. So that'll end up being a first down, another first down by penalty, Eric.
Yeah, that's not what the Blaze defense needs to be doing, is giving up first downs the way they have been. But we got to wait for the official word from the White Hat, so let's see what he's got to say.
On the defense, number 45. The result is a penalty.
Yep, that was it. It is definitely an offsides against that defense, and that's going to take 6 points off that board. for the Mile High Blaze and give the Minnesota Machine another first down by penalty.
That's going to take us to the end of the third quarter, Eric.
Yeah, they still need to switch sides now, don't they? Yep, so as they take a break to switch sides, we'll take a break. And thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. Score is 57-0 in the start of the fourth quarter. And the Minnesota Machine is going to send 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. After a penalty, they get a 1st and 10. Takes the snap as the quarterback looks left, throws left, and it is thrown short. And I want to take this time to thank Sebastian Chan for joining us for a little bit for that. But I'm also going to welcome another guest that we have in the booth with us, Justin Jones, quarterback for the Mile High Eagles. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
You don't care if I tell everybody your nickname?
No, that's fine.
No, because we've been calling you Booby for about how long?
It's been some years,
It's been
man.
some
It's
years,
stuck with
man.
me. What's going on, fellas?
So is this your first chance to be able to watch these girls play?
It is. I've actually I've been a fan. You know, seeing a lot of promotions like on Facebook and things, and actually wanted to get out here, man, and check it out in person. And I like it. I like what the the women are doing, and I like it, man. It's huge.
So a question for you, Booby. Scott earlier asked how last year's Panthers would have matched up against the Blaze, and and some of the differences that I see, speed, and probably physical attributes of the men would probably wear these ladies down, but they do play as a team. There's no doubt about it. The defense, you see, they stay at home very well on defense, good zone defense.
Absolutely. What I see from them, a lot of discipline, man. They look very disciplined out there on defense. They're all the women are flying to the ball. I like it. I think it's a great fit for the Blaze, man. I like what they're doing, and definitely flying to the ball. They got some heart. Ladies got some heart out there, man.
Yeah, and they're doing it in all phases of the game,
Yes.
offensive, defensively, and special teams.
Yes.
And handoff is fake handoff the middle, gives her some time, throws it, caught.
I believe it incomplete.
Oh,
Yeah.
she couldn't keep her hands on it. She drops the ball. That's going to take us to 3rd and 10.
The quarterback for Minnesota, I believe that I believe she's a good quarterback. It's just with the Blaze front line, it's hard for her to set her feet and to make a throw. And when she does have time, she has to make that throw. The cornerbacks are right there to break up a pass. The Blaze are they're flying around the ball all phases of the game, man.
And you're right, Booby. Their quarterback just hasn't had an opportunity to set her feet. She's been pressured all night long, throwing off of her back feet.
That back foot, man. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
All right, well, she breaks the huddle. She sends 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like dual tight ends. Yeah. So same defensive formation for the Blaze. No, they've got a 4-front now in there. Takes the snap. Here comes the pressure up the middle. Quick throw is caught. Trying to break off some tackles. Still fighting for extra yards. And finally brought down by a bunch of blue jerseys. But she gets tackled inbounds. And gain of about, 2 yards on that play.
And that's good. That was Christine Ginther there for the for the Machine, and she obviously she still got some fight. Down 57-0, still has some fight.
And kudos to the Machine and the Freeze who helped them, because to be down this far
and still fighting
and still going for it shows a lot of heart.
Absolutely. That's why I said they might have more heart than us in the men's league. I know a few prima donnas out there, man, and these girls, they got heart, man. They fighting, man. I like it.
Yeah,
they got cheerleaders. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with this Mile High Blaze organization.
Man.
All right, so the quarterback breaks that huddle. Same formation for both offense and defense. Waiting for the snap as the quarterback. And here it comes. She fades back, looks left. Here comes the pressure, and just met. Double sandwiched by the Blaze defense.
Sack.
That's going to be a nice loss down to the 30 on that one. And that's just like Kevin was saying. They can't do anything to stop that defense from coming through the
Well, and
line.
again, she did try to step up into the pocket in that situation, but yet there's just way too much pressure up the middle for her to even step up into the pocket right there. She tried to avoid both defensive ends that were crashing. Looked like DeMarcus Ware and
Von
Miller off the corners there.
Don't say that to Boobie.
Yeah.
So Boobie,
flashbacks, man.
you still gonna be a Raider fan even though they're in Vegas?
I am.
You are.
But listen, you know why? Because I heard we just picked up beast mode.
Yeah.
That is a blessing. I don't know where that came from, but I'll take it. And as soon as we go to Vegas, I think I will cheer for the Blaze. I'm done.
Blaze before Broncos,
That's it.
The Blaze are orange and blue. That's Bronco fans. We'll take that.
I guess we'll take what we can get.
That's Clemson. That's Clemson.
All right. Well, the coaching staff took a time out of the Mile High Blaze, and as they take a break, we'll take a break. And thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. With 11 minutes, 49 seconds left in the game, it's still 57-0, and the Blaze take over on offense, and they go in an I formation. Receivers left and right. There's a snap, handoff.
Oh, good counter.
No,
No,
it's a
PA.
pump fake. Rolling out to the right is Ty.
Ooh.
Waiting for somebody to open up. She's directing traffic. And she just keeps
Oh,
it. She
wow.
keeps it.
Keep that.
Goes to the four. Cuts
Oh,
back
wow.
to 40.
Back
First
outside.
down. Goes out of bounds. What a great play.
Nobody
by
was
Tyler
open
Lowry.
down foul. She just took off and ran with it. Again, that's a difference in talent level right there, Ariel.
Yeah, she did a great job there. Trying to direct the traffic. The receivers just wouldn't follow through, so she kept the ball and did what she needed to do for the Mile High Blaze, and that's keep the chains moving. Got herself first down.
I think that quarterback there, she goes by the nickname Smooth, and I think she just proved it right there. That was pretty sweet. She's sweet.
Very nice play. And I don't know. So I don't know if you know this, Boobie, but that's not their starting quarterback.
She's not the starter?
No, they got this other one called Adrian Tawaese, and she's an athlete.
This is
Great
not the
quarterback.
starter
No,
here?
this is their backup.
How many? Do we need some players?
I tell you, after watching Adrian Tawaese,
Yeah.
I think she might be able to play. She's got a rocket, man. She's a good quarterback.
Right.
All right, so under center, I formation, receivers left and right. Was that 3 down linemen for the? Yeah, they're going zone. So handoff to the right, nothing but room.
Oh,
and blockers
wow.
in front of her. Finally gets brought
Big
down.
run.
2
Big
plays by the Blaze takes us to 2 first downs in a row.
I think that's Kerry Bunstein right there again. Again, and this is the thing that I saw last week with the Blaze. They can pull whoever they want to off the roster and put them at running back. And that offensive line, they open up some big holes. Not to mention the fact that they just have some fast running backs.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, Coach P, is that from the lineman's point of view, these ladies are getting to second and third level.
Yeah.
Like after the play is over, they're walking back, from making blocks, and I think that's key. And
Very
they're
key.
opening the holes. They're getting to second levels, and there's nothing you can do about that, man.
Well, so what they've been doing is working, so why change the formation? We're still in an I formation.
Toss.
Pitch outside. She's got room. Cuts outside. Avoids a tackle. She's still
Almost
got
fell.
more room. Finally gets
Kept her
brought down.
balance.
9-yard play on that one. I'll tell you what, you're kind of saying the right things, Kevin. We noticed that last week. I had Big Mike Thomas up with me last weekend, and they had like 5 different running backs in their offense that did exactly what you're seeing right here. So they are chock full of talent. We had a hard time trying to figure out who the player of the game was because on offense they were all killing it. On defense they were all killing it. On special teams, but Kevin was telling me earlier, I missed the first quarter, but they've got a kick returner who scored 4 touchdowns already today.
Really?
That was
right,
her
Kevin?
fourth touchdown,
Her fourth
that
touchdown.
kickoff, the
Number
initial
12.
kickoff of the second half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 12, I think that's, yeah. She's beastie.
Yeah, so I think right now, in my opinion, she's probably got player of the game. But when you see the
Oh, wow.
fullback running
dive.
up the middle and getting yardage and first down and extra after the
Wow.
fight, that's what I talk about when
Wow.
it's hard to pick somebody out because
Right.
they are all playing hard,
All
every single one of them.
cylinders. Everything's a goal, all cylinders. Wow.
Oh, there might be a penalty on that play.
Now somebody's down on here on the closest side.
That was number 18, Kim McBride. Reminds me a lot of Victor Golden, fullback that we had last year with the Panthers. When we used to set him up at fullback, he could run between the tackles.
When he's wanted to. He's kind of lazy sometimes, but he's been drinking milk this year, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, they're all in need. Do you see a player down somewhere? Oh, we do have an injury
it's an
timeout.
injury down here.
Trying to assess who it is there.
All right. Well, oh, there it is right there on the 40-yard line. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong spot. And they've got a crowd of people around her. So I'll tell you what, as they take a break for the injury.
There.
Yeah, we'll better take a break for the injury. And thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze.
Being under his radar.
And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. So the injured player was able to get off the field, and the Blaze are just going to go ahead and stay in that I formation. It's been working, so why change it?
Chomp, chomp.
Fullback, running backs. Let's see if they decide to throw out of it. Waiting for the snap as the quarterback. Pressure up the middle, pitch outside. She's got nothing but a wall of blockers in front of her. Here, she's a 10, cutting inside, pushing forward, staying on her feet, fighting for it.
Them
Did they put their feet in?
Wow.
That's it.
Touchdown.
Another touchdown for the Mile High Blaze.
Way to run the pill.
That was a nice run.
Way to run the pill.
That was Coco Hockaday there, Eric. And I tell you what, I mean, you can't tell these running backs apart from each other because they have the same moves. They have the same cutback abilities.
And they all have speed.
Yeah.
And patience. They wait for their blocks, and then when they see that hole, and they cut through. And
Very
they're doing great
disciplined.
jobs.
Very disciplined.
Very
Looks like we have an injury. Another injury. That'd be number 11. That's from the machine. That's Jessica Poole. She's been their quarterback.
Oh, no.
Over on defense, too. Again, man, I want to applaud Minnesota for coming out and putting this effort and coming out and keeping the football, legacy going, man. This is, big for them, man. Congrats.
Yeah, fighting till the end, too. It shows great heart. They're doing great stuff. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Well, I guess they're gonna take an injury timeout, and we will as well. Thank you for watching Colorado Sports TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. And welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV's coverage of the Mile High Blaze. It's still 57-0 with 10 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game. And they just haven't put the 6 points on yet because we're going for the point after try after that run. The injured player is still being carried to the sideline. She was roughed up pretty bad there. And then that's their starting quarterback.
That's their starting quarterback. What are they going to do now?
Good question. Fake snap.
Oh, wow.
Keeper outside. Why not go for 2? Because everything else is working.
Good play.
On special teams, on offense, on defense.
That's a play to put on film for other teams, Eric.
It's a statement play,
Yep,
is it?
Yep. It's certainly a play to put on film for other teams.
60 minutes.
Well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but last weekend the Blaze played the Thundercats and won that game 68-0.
Really?
Yeah. Now they're looking at 65-0. They are definitely making a statement in the WFA.
And this is a running clock, correct?
Yeah, they're down to a running clock.
Wow.
But they're stopping for change of possessions, but
okay.
wow. Yeah, it should be a running clock.
I might have to see if we can book a game against the Blaze, man. See if we can get a scrimmage, man. They are definitely balling, man.
Well, I tell you, I think these girls would be up for it.
Yeah, I believe it.
They want to prove some stuff.
The young lady, number 50, who's over the nose tackle on defense.
Shantavia Brigham.
She is a beast.
She's intimidating.
I seen her with her hand movements and stuff, man. She's
getting the job done.
I would run, okay?
You would?
I would run. I would.
Hey, have you guys had a chance to even look at that WFA website?
No.
I was shocked.
Really?
I've got to count at least 40 teams in the WFA.
So
all over the country too.
Really?
Yeah, we're in a separate division with the Blaze,
Right.
but there's all kinds of teams here.
Really?
So I was talking to Coach Lister. There are 67 teams in the WFA.
Wow. All over the world. Wow. That's huge.
All right, so she takes the kick. She's out to the 20 to the 25, and here comes the Blaze special teams to clean her up and bring her down. As soon as the Blaze were near her, she got brought down. So, excuse me, not seeing any other teams in this WFA, no matter where part of the country you're from, if you're watching this team and watching them last week and seeing 130 points and plus in two games, you got to be worried if the Blaze are on your schedule.
Yeah, you have to recognize that, man. You got to show that some type of love, man. They are definitely bringing it, man. And it amazes me how all 11 women are flying to the ball like that, man. That is insane.
So I had a little bit more information from Coach Lister. There's 3 different tiers. They call them tiers in the WFA, and the Machine are in Tier 3. The Blaze are in Tier 2. You think about what a Tier 1 team might look like in this league when you start talking about the Blaze and the caliber of talent that they have.
Are they going up the tiers with like the talent level? Is that what?
It's based on roster size.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the way the Blaze are playing,
wow,
I would put them against any Tier 1 right now.
Right.
I mean, because they're looking good on every aspect of this game.
I mean,
and that's 2 weeks in a row.
And everything.
And if this defense does what it's been doing these last 2 weeks, that's going to be 2 shutouts in a row for them as well.
Can you imagine if that's not a true statement? How good could a Tier 1 be?
Right.
Yeah, there's got to be some political aspects to that we don't know about. Maybe, because I know in the semi-pro, the length that the league has been in effect has an effect on what level you play at, whether it's A or AA or AAA. So I don't know if that has to play with them as well, but
my
there's got to be
understanding
something we don't know.
The Blaze have been around for 3 years, and but the Machine have been in existence for 9 years.
Really? Wow.
Wow, so I guess that's not going to happen because that would mean they'd be at a higher tier.
Well, again, it's based upon roster size of what Coach Lister had indicated to me.
Well, Minnesota has 3 people. How are they? What tier are they?
Maybe that's why they got Tier 3. All right. So, I don't know. I can't see who that quarterback is, Kevin. You're going to have to help us with that. But she sends 2 receivers to the left. She's fading back. She's going to throw.
Number 10.
It's caught.
Wow.
Trying to get more yardage, but
throw.
not a bad pass on there, and they finally get some positive yardage on offense.
So that's Olivia Graham. She came back in at quarterback there, and it was a good throw.
So Olivia Graham, after taking that injury, is just fighting her way through it, huh? He just said that we're going to take a timeout at 2 minutes. Is that what he said? Did you hear what he said?
It was a little hard to make out there. The wind is kind of catching his voice there a little bit.
Which is odd because I feel the wind in here, but at the end zone there, the flag is barely moving.
They just took 5 minutes off.
Oh, they took 5. Oh, they took
wow.
it to the 2 minute mark.
2
You know,
minute
I
warning.
think what happened there was we were supposed to have had a running clock, and they did stop the clock after that last touchdown by the Blaze. So the on-field clock, the back judge is the one that's responsible for that.
That's a good look.
That was a good throw, but another great performance on defense is the defensive back is right there to break it up right when it gets there.
Well, and again, that should have been a completion right there. Again, that was Jessica Poole. The ball, the proverbial hit your hands. You got to catch that one.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard when that. Booby, you played receiver for a while. Sometimes those DBs come in there and hit you at the right time, and it makes it hard, huh?
It's very hard. It's more or less hand strength because they're gonna come in and knock the ball. You got to once you grab it, you got to hold on to it, man. And sometimes it gets hard when they're right there. They kind of beat you there to it. So
All right, we're under a minute left to go in this game. She takes a snap.
swing pass.
Yep, and she's caught it.
Oh,
Cuts
good
inside.
cut.
Gets hit hard, but brought down. Not enough for the first down.
It's going to be short.
And that's going to take us to 45 seconds and ticking left in this game.
It looks to me like they've called a timeout. Or no, they've called it a first down.
Oh, did they give her the
Head
mark?
linesman marked it as a first down. They're advancing the
job.
chains.
Good job.
Oh, they better do it quick because with the running clock, they've
30
got 30
seconds.
seconds and ticking left. So that's probably enough to get maybe one more playoff with the way the machine has been working today.
And number 50, Shantavia
Beast.
Brigham came off the field there. Boy, I tell you what, you're right, Booby. I don't think I'd want to line up against her.
Yeah. No,
Throwing it over the top, and it is intercepted.
Are they going to put
and
up
the
more?
Blaze are trying to put more on
Oh,
there.
no, they said it was down.
Oh, they're calling it
They're
incomplete.
NCAA rules. It's not like the CFC where it's down by contact.
Yeah.
It's knee contact constitute being down.
Shout out to
So-
the Blaze, man, for putting up 100-something points in 2 games.
Yeah, so the final score is 65-0, Blaze over the machine. And Kevin, thank you again so much, man, for coming for me in
Absolutely.
the first quarter.
My pleasure.
And it was fun having you in there. Booby, thanks again for joining us,
you.
too,
Thanks
man.
for
It was good
having
to
me,
have
man.
you up here. Good to see you guys again. And special thanks to Sebastian Chun for helping us out, too. And on behalf of ColoradoSports.TV, we want to thank you for watching the Mile High Blaze defeats the Minnesota Machine. Final score of 65-0. And again, thank you for watching ColoradoSports.TV.
Come back.